Hey family, Pastor Amy here. I pray you are having a good week, that you're enjoying the sunshine today, as we are just about at the end of this week. Listen, I am sitting here actually reflecting on last Sunday as we continued our series on perseverance, and just recapping quickly. It was just our perseverance is built in faith. The question of all belief is, can God be trusted? That was a big one. Can God be trusted? We took a look of Abraham and Sarah, how God offers a new way of life, but it wasn't by human effort. It was his power and his promise. God's power and his promise. And we looked at that because we live in this world that is, it just tells you, you do you can do it. God doesn't have to be involved in that. You can do that. It can be self-directed, and you're self-made, and self-help books and whatever that might be. But it was basically, you live out your truth, when basically we were saying that that's not possible. God was showing a new way, and it was through him and his power and promise. We looked at the call of Abraham in Genesis 12, 1 through 7. And we also looked at living out of the promise means that we have to be hearing from God, which means our part is we have to be sitting with him. We have to be sitting with him. And I know there's a tendency, I know I've done it. I sit down and tell him all of my concerns, all my needs, and then you kind of rush off. This is hearing from God. Living out a promise means we must be hearing from him. So yes, being with him daily, spending time in that word, and it never comes back void, y'all. His word never comes back void. And that it would be something that you heard from him. And that's why we sit and be still and hear his whisper and hear from him. And we also talked about, how do we trust in the evidence when the evidence is against us? Like, we just spoke about this world. How do we do that? And we see even Abraham struggle as God was saying it, as we continue to read in Genesis. And it was, we looked at that, and when that happens, we tend to, when we're struggling with it, we tend to kind of doubt maybe, and kind of take things back into our own hands and our plan. And that's where we have to remember that the importance of looking to God and not relying on ourselves. The importance of looking to God and not relying on ourselves. That's key. That's key. I will tell you that Pastor Jason's sermon this week is going to deal with more on the waiting, and you're not going to want to miss it. I'll tell you, not going to want to miss it, family. And we talked about, we trust God and have faith in God, even though we don't understand the whys. We don't understand why that happened, or the events in that. We have to continue to trust God, and have faith in him and believe in him. We looked kind of towards the end where we just said, that belief, boy, we'll be ready. When he says go, we're going to be ready, and we're going to go. And we talked about that with a man who couldn't walk, and Jesus says, pick up your mat and walk, and he did. Or the woman who bleeded for years, and she says, if I could only touch the hem of his garment, I would be healed. And she was. family, we have a choice. We have a choice to believe. We have a choice to trust, to follow him, to keep our eyes focused on him and him alone. And so with that, I just pray that you all take that time with him daily. Take that time with him daily. It's how you're going to hear from him, and how you're going to know how to follow and how to obey and how to surrender on all that. So looking forward to this week as we continue the series of perseverance. Just pulled out my notes real quick because I know that Pastor Jason's going to be speaking on the difficulty of persevering faith. Taking things into your own hands never accomplishes what you think it will be. So there you go. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see y'all on Sunday. I know I say that all the time, but I can't even tell you how true that is for me. So I can't wait. I pray. You might have just saw my dog. Anyway, she just came up. There she is. So that's her. And so anyway, thank you, family. Thank you for just taking a moment here with me and praying you up, and look forward to Sunday. See you then. Bye-bye.